Channel 5 at 5.
The rising River Des Peres surges over this levee, taking with it the hopes of hundreds of helpless homeowners. Their worst fears become reality. Good evening, I'm Karen Foss.
And I'm Rick Edlund. Thank you for joining us tonight. The Mississippi River is overflowing levees all over the bi-state area right now, and the situation is now critical in several places.
More homeowners in South St. Louis had to leave their homes this morning, and the water from the River Des Peres is rushing in. Kay Quinn is at the intersection of Alabama and Davis with the latest for us. Kay?
Well, Karen and Rick, I'm actually at the lake that was the intersection of Alabama and Davis. The water is waist high in this area, and it's coming in very quickly. You can see by the stop sign just the tip of a mailbox, a blue mark there. When we got here about 2 hours ago, you could still see the U.S. Mail emblem on the side of that mailbox, and that's an indication of just how quickly the water is coming up here. There's a home just to my right where water has totally overtaken the front yard. You could see the grass when we got here a couple of hours ago, and a woman there invited me into her home to hear the water rushing into her basement, and it sounded just like a waterfall. Now, all of this, of course, is caused by a break in the levee along the River Des Peres. We have a map of that area right now. The levee break happened about 11 o'clock this morning east of Marceau in Alabama. You'll see it there on the map, and it's also caused an expansion in the recommended evacuation here in South St. Louis. More people have been told to get out. More homes lost their gas and electricity today as this water creeps slowly into these neighborhoods here, all along Germania, south of Morgan Ford, on Marceau and on Carondelet. And authorities tell me this evening that they're also considering closing the Morgan Ford Bridge. They're waiting on that right now to see just how high the water is going to get. Again, today is the scheduled crest date, and hopefully they can keep that route open. But at this point, the Morgan Ford Bridge may be the next bridge to be shut down around here. Now, Congressman Richard Gephardt came through this neighborhood to see what we are seeing here at Alabama and Davis. He came through on a military police Humvee caravan about an hour ago, and he expects more breaks in the levee along the River Des Peres before all this water goes down.
This levee was not made to take this kind of a flood. Nobody ever anticipated 47 feet. We're going to be above 47 feet. It's the duration of this flood that's really hurting us now.
And it's amazing just to see how quickly this water comes up. Some residents were using pennies earlier. They would place them on the ground, and you could watch in a matter of minutes the water would overtake and flood over the penny. It was just an example, again, of how quickly the water is coming in here. News Channel 5's Michelle Hopland spent the day in this neighborhood. She also toured the area by air, and she has now more on the plight of homeowners in this area.
At 11:30, police swarmed up and down these streets on both sides of the River Des Peres, warning people to get out fast. At the strike of 12, nobody is allowed on these streets. Bill Germer has stayed in his house through 2 big floods, and even this one isn't going to force him out.
No problem. I'll be up on the 2nd floor. I won't get water. Well, I don't know what the danger is going to be, except there'll be water sitting in the street.
But police say the dangers are real. Tom and Dodie Gilman's house is far above any flood predictions, yet they say they're being forced to evacuate.
They're not going to let us come back and forth. There's no way we can stay here, whether we got air and stuff or not.
We had just moved everything back in, cleaned the refrigerator out, unpacked coolers that we've had in the trunk since Tuesday. Thought everything was going to get back to normal. And then this.
It's been 1 hour since the evacuation order took effect, and already there is one breach in the levee. But experts predict that soon there will be many more.
The soggy earthen levee and sandbags just couldn't hold back the water anymore. This break is flooding dozens of streets lined with homes and businesses in South St. Louis. And from the air, you can see the swollen river only has a few more inches before it starts rolling over the top of sandbags. The city says the sandbagging has stopped for now. It's just too dangerous. In South St. Louis, Michelle Hopland, News Channel 5.
Now, the Red Cross has opened an evacuation center for residents along the River Des Peres in South St. Louis. It's at Blow Middle School. Quinn, News Channel 5.
Okay, thank you very much.
The situation is intensifying everywhere. The Mississippi River topped yesterday's crest projections earlier this morning, and it is still rising.
Hundreds of people are heading to the Arch Grounds to get a look at the Mississippi at her mightiest. This is, of course, the safest place to get a look at the historic flooding. Sightseers are asked to stay away from other flooded areas, however, because we still haven't seen the full force of the flood yet. Chief Meteorologist Bob Richards has been keeping a close eye on the river crest.
And he joins us now from the Weather Center with the latest numbers. Bob?
Again, as we've been mentioning all day long, because of the rainfall we've had over the past several days, the river levels still continue to creep up, and as of this morning, the forecast crest turned out to be another 6 inches higher than what the forecast crest was as of yesterday. Along the Missouri River, first of all, I want to share with you a couple of things. First of all, we'll start with the Missouri River. These are the latest river stages. For folks away from these particular areas, the numbers may be insignificant, but in St. Charles, for instance, the stage today, 36.7 feet. The crest for the Missouri River has already taken place roughly to the west. It has already started to begin a very, very slow fall in St. Charles. It is falling at a bit more of a rapid pace in Herman, also in Jeff City. But again, the river will crest today, or it has crested in St. Charles, at some 11.7 feet above flood stage. Along the Merrimack River, these are the latest stages. Again, the numbers may not mean much to folks elsewhere outside of Arnold, for instance, but at Arnold, the stage today, latest measurement, 42.3 feet. The river will crest in Arnold late tonight or more likely during the day tomorrow with a reading of 18.8 feet above flood stage. In Valley Park, the river will crest tomorrow at 7.5 feet above flood stage. And back on the Mississippi River, the latest stages, as of late this morning in St. Louis, 46.5 feet with a forecast crest sometime later today or tonight. They're calling it officially at crest at 17 feet above flood stage or with a reading of 47 feet. So theoretically, another 6-inch rise over what they measured this morning, and then it's all over. That, of course, assumes no additional rain. Unfortunately, there's a lot more additional rain, and it's falling just now to the northwest of St. Louis. We'll look at that on Doppler 5 radar. The rest of the forecast details in just a few moments.
All right, Bob, thank you. Of course, the levees in and around the
Customers in the Alton service area. News Channel 5's Ruth Isbell joins us live from downtown Alton with the details. Ruth?
Karen and Rick, in the Alton Water District, more than 17,000 homes and businesses get their supplies from the Illinois American Water Company. Now, those customers have been put on notice to boil their water as a precaution. And if the tide rises too much higher, their fresh water could be cut off altogether. At the water company's administrative offices, scores of employees and volunteers have spent long hours on sandbagging detail. This is where the sandbags are going, to a treatment plant on the Mississippi that's under threat of being contaminated by floodwaters.
Those sandbags are being used to build a secondary levee around the plant to protect the inner workings of the plant from the rising floodwaters.
Customers wasted no time stocking up on bottled water just in case.
Because of the ball order that they have on now. It's better safe than sorry.
Mary Lou Cousley is taking the precautions a few steps further. She started serving meals with disposable plates and utensils, so she won't have to use water to wash them.
After showers, we keep the bathtub full. In case the water is shut off, we'll be able to use it as a holding zone for some waters and buckets of water to flush toilets and wash dishes or keep clean.
Now, this order affects not just the city of Alton. The Illinois American Water Company services several areas outside the city proper. So if you're not sure whether or not you're supplied by them, you might want to check with the company to find out if you're affected by that order. Reporting live from Alton, Illinois, Ruth Isbell, News Channel 5.
Thanks, Ruth. Well, with this boil order in effect for drinking water in Alton and Godfrey, viewers have been calling us with questions on just how long you should boil the water.
And public health authorities urge you to boil the water for 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes before using it. Well, a levee break this morning has virtually trapped some 500 residents in Hardin, Illinois. The break forced the closing of the Route 16 or Joe Page Bridge linking Hardin and Calhoun County with Jersey County and the rest of the state. Now, as you can see by this map, Calhoun County is bordered by both the Mississippi and the Illinois rivers and has been flooded from both sides. So for people who want to leave the area, they must now drive north out of Calhoun County, which in most cases will take hours.
And in St. Charles, an area caught between two flooded rivers, the worst may be far from over.
The sandbaggers in the north end of town had to give up their battle this morning. News Channel 5's Randy Jackson is live from the Missouri with more on the situation there. Randy?
Oh, Rick and Karen, you're looking at an operation of human spirit right now. These are sandbaggers in the city of St. Charles making bags for the people in the county of St. Charles. They can't get them quickly enough. Sandbaggers had to abandon their levee at the Bayless Park shortly before 8 o'clock this morning. After days of hard work, the Missouri River just became too much for the levee and its builders. It was 7:55 this morning when the Missouri River levee at Bayless Park in northern St. Charles gave way at 36.7 feet. The river flooded low areas and backed up storm sewers. Here at Highway 94 North and North Drive, a race to save the popular Old Trails restaurant began.
It started to come up about 9:30 this morning, and my brother's friends, everybody, family members, and my brother's church is down here, National Guard. It's going real good.
In spite of repeated warnings to evacuate the low-lying areas, police say some people are staying in their homes in spite of the danger.
Everybody's been taken care of, and we're keeping constant contact. We have boats in the area as well as in the other areas of the city that are underwater to maintain that contact and to make sure everybody's doing fine.
51 touched the side. Now at 86, it was only this deep.
Larry Vogt is one of those people who refuse to leave their homes. He says he's seen worse and showed me a snapshot taken of his house and water levels during the flood of 1951, ironically taken 42 years ago tomorrow. Back here live in the city of St. Charles. Right now, as Bob Richards said, the Missouri River has already crested and is on a very slow downward push. The sandbagging continues out here to make those bags for the county. If you'd like to help, you're asked to go to the Mark Twain Mall. They'll put you on a shuttle bus and take you to where you're most needed. The feeling tonight in the city is one that we'll let Mother Nature take her course and hope for the best. Reporting live from St. Charles, I'm Randy Jackson, News Channel 5.
All right, Randy,
Hundreds of people there behind Randy.
Quite an effort.
Well, our Flood Watch 93 team coverage continues just ahead. See how you can be a hero on the front lines of the flood fight just ahead.
And see how area attractions far removed from the rising water are fighting as well. That story is coming up.
Counteract this impression, a toll-free number will go online tomorrow to give out-of-state tourists up-to-date information. You may still visit us.
I think we've all heard from relatives out of town asking if we're all right.
Are you okay?
Busch
right.
Stadium underwater, the arch, etc. Well, no, it's not.
It's not.
Well, coming up, our Flood Watch 93 team coverage continues.
Chief Meteorologist Bob Richards has the forecast, and will it promise relief? We'll find out next.
Stream, and these sandbag levees are not really designed to hold that volume of water for a long period of time. And as we'll show you tonight at 10 o'clock, we're going to have a listing of exactly how long the river's going to stay that high. The river's not going to fall below flood stage in many of these areas till like the end of the month or the first of next month. So
it's going to be a long fight.
It's going to be a long fight. We also have some more heavy rain developing just to our northwest. In fact, Doppler 5 radar this afternoon showing very strong, intense thunderstorms, potentially severe, but at this point, just heavy rain producers, high gusty winds, and as you can see, more heavy rains upriver. Grafton, Illinois, Hardin, Illinois, all getting a heavy amount of rainfall. Winfield, Foley, Old Monroe, Missouri, all getting heavy rain. It's raining heavily in Wentzville, back into the new Melly and Forestell areas. These are intense thunderstorms that will gradually push across the metro area during the evening hours. It is even heavier further to the north and around the Midwest this afternoon. Extremely strong thunderstorms with severe weather from Chicago back into Champaign, Peoria, into Springfield. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect central and northern Illinois. This just pretty much tells the beginning of the story. More heavy rains expected over that area. However, there is a sign of relief. You'll see that in a moment. We'll go outside, show you the calm before the storm across the Midwest. Very high heat, very high humidity across the two-state region. We have a temperature that's in the 90s with heat indexes of around 102 degrees. Currently, mostly sunny skies across the downtown region, out at Lambert Field as well. 93 degrees, humidity 51%. Again, the heat index, what it feels like outside, 102 degrees. Winds are out of the southwest at 13. The barometer falling at 29.95. Today's official high temperature today, all the way up to around 95 degrees. The low this morning down to 79. The heat index across many areas today up to around 105 to 110 degrees. So take it very easy if you have to be outside at all this evening. Satellite views begin last night and put them into motion again. A lot of activity across the Midwest. Heavy thunderstorms out over the plains now, pushing across the states of Illinois and Missouri, back into the Great Lakes. Heavy thunderstorms there, more developing out to the northwest. But again, there is a sign of relief. We're going to get some rain tonight. Some of it will be heavy, but by tomorrow and into Tuesday, a slightly drier pattern expected. Look at this. Nothing expected. Northern Illinois, back into Iowa, northern Missouri, central Illinois. Here, a few thunder showers early. Heaviest rain will be well down to the southwest. it's a situation that'll stick around with us for at least a day or two. So we'll at least see a couple of days of dry weather and begin to see the rivers start to very slowly fall across the region. In the meantime, a couple of worries. Tonight, flash flooding is a possibility over central and northern Illinois. A flash flood watch in effect there. An excessive heat advisory for this evening covering the St. Louis area, most of eastern and southeastern portions of Missouri. So it's going to be a real rough go. Take it easy if you're going to be outside at all this evening. Overnight tonight, some showers and thunderstorms, some heavy rains possible, potentially severe thunderstorms as well. We'll drop down to 76 tonight. Tomorrow, perhaps an early thunder shower. We'll follow that with a gradually clearing sky. It will become partly then mostly sunny. Highs tomorrow up to 90. It'll actually seem cooler tomorrow with a high of 90, sun index of 7 on a scale of 0 to 10. And the next 5 days show a relatively dry and a much more pleasant pattern. The humidity levels will drop just a bit tomorrow, even more so on Tuesday, and then come back up later on this week. At this point, let's try to be optimistic. I don't think we'll have any rainfall, or at least significant rainfall amounts tomorrow, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Some afternoon thunder showers, but not until Thursday or Friday. We'll keep an eye on the severe storm situation this evening. Tonight at 10, more on the rivers, more on the stages, and more on exactly how slowly they're going to begin to fall over the next few days.
Everybody wants to know, of course. Thanks, Bob.
Well, coming up in sports, the Cards